I'm going to be resetting the NHL back to the 2014-15 season, and we're going to find out what history will change. Will the Blackhawks still win their final cup of the 2010s? Will Sid go back-to-back? Will Ovi manage to grab his first and only cup of his career? Or will absolutely everything be different? As I can guarantee one thing, the rosters are completely different. The Anaheim Ducks still have Getzlaf and Perry in their prime at 29 years old, both a 93 overall. The Boston Bruins still got Bergeron, Marchand, and Zdeno Chara, as well as an 88 overall Milan Lucic. Buffalo's best player in 2014 was Tyler Myers at an 86 overall. My God, Buffalo, you guys have gone through damn near 2 decades of darkness. The Flames will have Mark Giordano at a 91 overall. He's 30 years of age. He has not won a Norris Trophy yet. A young Johnny Gaudreau at 21 years of age is there. Eric Stahl is still the best player on the Carolina Hurricanes and most likely the captain, so they pretty much went from one Stahl brother to another one as the captain of their squad. Chicago's back into their dynasty years with Patty Kane and Jonathan Toews, a 96 and 95 overall, as well as Duncan Keith, Marian Hossa. Brent Seabrook is there in goal. Also, Corey Crawford is their starting netminder at a 92. Colorado is going to have Ryan O'Reilly, Jerome McGinley, and an 86 overall Nathan McKinnon. He's only 19 years of age, I believe, in his second season in the NHL after winning the Calder. They did go through a couple of bad seasons with McKinnon where he wasn't doing good, the team wasn't doing good. They finished worst in the NHL, I believe, in 2017. Columbus is still pretty much Columbus, not being a great hockey team whatsoever. The Dallas Stars still have Jamie Benn, but he's much better. 94 overall. Sagan's a 91. Jason Spezza with his fake slap shot is still on the Stars. John Klingberg's an 85 and only 22 years of age. Pavel Datsyuk is still with the Detroit Red Wings. My God, do I wish this man played in today's NHL. He'd probably be one of the most popular players in the entire league. 93 overall for the Magic Man. Zetterberg's a 90. He's pretty old at 33. God damn, Datsyuk is 36 years of age. The Kron Wall is still there. Thomas Tatar, Gustav Nyquist. This was pretty much the end of the Detroit Red Wings as they knew it at the time because they haven't made the playoffs since then. The Oilers are still in the dark age. I mean, they don't have Connor McDavid yet. He is, I believe, year number 1 draft pick. But Eberle Hall, Jeff Petrie is there. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is only 21 years of age. Everybody is still pretty young. The Florida Panthers have Jonathan Huberdeau. Sasha Barkov is there. He's only 19. A pretty high overall for Barkov. I don't remember him being like an 86 overall in NHL 15. Nick Bukestad is there. Aaron Ekblad is only 18 years of age. Drew Doughty is still a legit superstar, 94 overall. Kopitar at a 91. Low-key's kind of disrespectful. The man was during his prime. He's fresh off of 2 Stanley Cups in the last 4 years at 27 years of age. My God, Doughty was only 24. Him and the LA Kings have not had a lot of success since then. I kind of feel bad, honestly, but they got their 2 cups. Dustin Brown, I believe, is still the captain of the Kings at this time. And of course, we have Johnny on the spot quick, 91 overall, 28 years of age, during one of the most dominating goaltending primes of all time. I remember Ryan Suter back in like NHL 15 being rated like 94, 95 overall. I don't know why EA heavily overrated that man, but they thought he was a god on D. Good defenseman, don't get me wrong. Him and Parise signed those long-ass deals in Minnesota that obviously plagued them for a very long time. PK Subban, 93 overall, back with the Montreal Canadiens. They got Pacioretty, Markov is there, Thomas Plekanec, Brendan Gallagher is still on the squad, and of course, between the pipes, they got none other than Carey Price, 98 overall netminder. This was the season where he won the Hart, the Lindsay, and the Vezina Trophy and went basically God mode the entire regular season. Shea Weber is still with the Nashville Predators, 96 overall. They got a young Roman Josi at 24. Philip Forsberg is only 20 years old. Seth Jones is still on the roster. I honestly kind of low-key forgot he played here. But he did get drafted there in 2013 before they ended up trading him to Columbus. We got the New Jersey Devils and an 87 overall, 42-year-old Jaromir Jagr. It is not looking good for the Devils, as having a 42-year-old as their best player does not bode well for them for the upcoming seasons. New York Islanders still have Johnny T, 91 overall, 23 years of age, and honestly nobody else around him. The Rangers got Rick Nash as their best player. Marty St. Louis is there, Ryan McDonough, Dan Girardi, and of course Hank, the King himself, between the pipes at a 97 overall. A very young Erik Karlsson on the Ottawa Senators, 96 overall at 24. They still got Kyle Turris, a young Mark Stone is there. Bobby Ryan is still going through his issues with alcoholism. All jokes aside, I saw him playing roller hockey the other day, and he looks like he's in good spirits. I'm glad the man is doing much better now. This dude had some silky ass mitts back in the day. Philly still has Claude Giroux at 27 years old, 92 overall. Jacob Voracek is on the squad. Wayne Simmons is an 87, which is low-key kind of wild. Sid the Kid Crosby, smack dab in the middle of his prime, 98 overall, 27 years old. Of getting Malkin's a 96. Letang is all the way up at a 92. They got Paul Martin on the squad. Patrick Hornquist is there. Chris Kunitz is an 85. And between the pipes, I believe it is the Flower at an 89 overall. Some people are going to get mad at this rating, but honestly, Marc-Andre Fleury is one of the more overrated goaltenders all time. Great longevity, but peak for peak, this dude did not peak that high. I'm just going to be real. The Sharks still have Joe Pavelski and Joe Thornton on the squad. Brent Burns is there, all three of them being a 91 overall. They were good in the 2010s. They were honestly good for like an 18-year stretch, to be honest. Mark-Edward Vlasic is still good defensively at a 90. I didn't even know, but he's still playing on San Jose, which is kind of crazy. Seattle, of course, doesn't have anybody. I won't be including them into the simulation. We move on to the St. Louis Blues, who have Alex Pietrangelo, Vladimir Tarasenko, David Backes is still their captain. Tampa Bay is way before their prime. They actually just made the Cup Finals during this year. Stammer at 24, Victor Hedman's a 94. Tyler Johnson is on the squad. Kucherov is only an 89 overall. He was only 21, though, so still very young in his career. And Andrei Vasilevsky was not even the starting goaltender. Was Brent Bishop or Ben Bishop. Why did I think it was Brent? He's an 89 at 27, and Vasilevsky at an 80 overall, 20 years of age with franchise high potential. Toronto Maple Leafs, their best player is Phil the Thrill Kessel, 89 overall at 26 years of age. JVR is their second best. Dion Phaneuf is still on the squad. A very young, actually Tyler Bozak was not even young, but Nazem Kadri was at 23 years old. Morgan Riley is only a 20-year-old, and who they have between the pipes? Was it Reimer? It was Bernier and James Reimer. Dear God. The Utah Hockey Club are essentially the Arizona Coyotes with Ekman Larson, Keith Yandel, Shane Doan is still there, Martin Hansel, Sam Gagne, and I believe Mike Smith is the goaltender between the pipes. No, it's Devin Dubnyk at an 89 overall, and Mike Smith is a backup. Vancouver still has the Sedin sisters, who are both 33 years of age at a 91 overall apiece. They got Alex Edler there. Chris Tanev is on the squad. They got Dan Hamhuis. Washington has a prime Alexander Ovechkin, 97 overall at 28 years of age. Nick Backstrom is only 26. We got John Carlson. Hold up a minute. Backstrom is 2 years younger than Ovi, but his career ended so much sooner, man. I know he had hip problems and he had that surgery, but it is just crazy to think about. Like, Nicholas Backstrom could still technically be playing alongside Alex Ovechkin. Didn't age nearly as good. The Russian machine never breaks. Winnipeg has Dustin Byfuglien as their best player. What an absolute monster this guy was. If you guys never saw this man play, go on YouTube, search up Dustin Byfuglien hits, and you will not be disappointed. Blake Wheeler's still their captain, I think, or Andrew Ladd, one of the two. Evander Kane is still on the squad. He's only 23 years old. Brian Little is there. And this is the draft class of Connor McDavid, Jack Eichel, Mikko Rantanen, Kirill Kaprizov, Mitch Marner, Zach Werenski. Like, this is one of the best draft classes in NHL history. It is so sweet to see this still here. The man who did the roster will be right here. All credit to him, man. Without him, I would not be able to do this video, so shout out there. There's going to be two parts of the video. Starting off, we're going to do a one-year season sim where we hop into the postseason, see who goes on and wins the Stanley Cup. And then after that, I'm going to simulate 5 full years in franchise mode, and we're going to find out what the future will hold here in NHL 25. Not really that big of a shock to see Chicago at the top here, 58, 15, and 9. They absolutely dominated. The St. Louis Blues, though, interestingly enough, they won 57 games. Washington was up there at 55. Tampa Bay had a hell of a season. They actually made the Cup final in real life this year. Anaheim won 50 games. Boston rounded out the top 6 at the bottom outside of the 2 European teams that I added in because Seattle and Vegas are not in the NHL at the time. Toronto, with Phil the Thrill Kessel as their best player, only won 31 games and a measly 65 points on the season. Alexander Ovechkin's going to lead the NHL in not only goal scoring at 81, he was damn near goal per game, but he also had the most points at 113. Eddie Kane did his thing at 111. Gino had 110. Taves and Crosby. Jonathan Taves, I don't think ever hit 100 points, so This is a little bit of a stretch, although only 27 goals is around realistic. He was like a 30-goal man for a little bit. Crosby at 35 and 105. Vladimir Tarasenko going off at only 23 years of age. Nick Backstrom had 9 goals, but 92 apples. Outside of Ovi, we got Patty Kane having the most goals at 59. Tarasenko 43. Gino had 40. Jamie Benn had 39 on the Dallas Stars. Patrick Hornquist had 39 himself. Rick Nash is still kicking it. I mean, outside Alexander Ovechkin, nobody really can hold a candle to this guy in terms of goal-scoring ability. For the netminders, we got Corey Crawford setting the wins record. Actually, no, tying the wins record at 48. Him, Holtby, and Martin Brodeur, a 3-way tie. He also had the most shutouts at 9, and he had a goddamn 928 save percentage. Just hand the Vezina, goddamn hand the Hart Trophy over to Corey Crawford right now. As we head to the postseason, the 2015 Stanley Cup playoffs are here. It was Chicago that went all the way and beat Tampa Bay in the finals. Who will it be here in NHL 25? We got our first of 3 Game 7, starting with Washington and Columbus. We're going to see if Ovi can make it out of round number 1, but the Blue Jackets strike. Atkinson, Hartnell, and Wenberg. Second period, still a 3-0 lead. And unfortunately, Ovi will get dummied in a Game 7 where he didn't score a single goal after scoring 82 in the regular season. That is straight up embarrassing. The Rangers versus the Penguins. They had a few battles back in the 2010s during their day. Entering the third period, it's going to be a 1-0 lead. Jesper Fast will score on Marc-Andre Fleury. And now the big 3 of Pittsburgh. Paul Martin will score on Lundqvist. But then Kevin Hayes responds immediately. We got ourselves a back-and-forth game. Rick Nash will extend the lead to 2 halfway through this third period. Where is Crosby? Where is Gino? Come on now, the 2-headed monsters. Are they going to get eliminated in Game 7? Pittsburgh Penguins fans, close your goddamn eyes. Y'all are down by 2. You got an empty net. Gino. Oh my God, Gino just ran him over. Malkin, come on, buddy. Over 1T. What a pass by Sid. But they couldn't bury it. Derek Brassard is headed to the box for interference with 58 left to play. 58 seconds to go. I mean, if the Pens get a quick one here, you never know. You never truly know. They're going to win the draw. Back to Chris Kunitz. Rebound. There it is. Bo Bennett, the youngster himself, will score and make it a 1-goal game here in Pittsburgh. We might see an absolute historic collapse here in Game 7 by the Rangers. Nothing new for them. Bo Bennett takes a shot. Oh no, the King. Hank has no energy at all. Bo Bennett ripping one. Oh my God! Second of the night for Bo. He sniped it 5-hole on the King. And we got ourselves a tie game here in Game 7 of round number 1. Bo Bennett just made himself a legend. The young guy was supposed to be something for Pittsburgh. And now in a resim, he is proving it. We still got 46 seconds to play here in regulation. We could have somebody score again and have a game winner. Oh no. The Pittsburgh Penguins have all the momentum in the middle. Oh my God. Again, Hank has no energy. Bo Bennett, get on that goddamn puck, dude. A hat trick, third period hat trick in Game 7. That sounds a little similar. A little bit of a Mikko Rantanen effect right now. 25 seconds to go. Paul Martin leading the rush over to Chris Kunitz. Kunitz through the neutral zone over to Sutter. Sutter, backhand. There's a rebound. He's going to wait. Spinning, firing. Lundqvist going to make the save. Back to the blue line. Paul Martin. Oh no, he lost it to the small guy, Marty St. Louis. Up the half wall. It doesn't get out though. Marty getting board played again. It's in the corner. Chris Kunitz, 10 seconds out in front. Oh my God. Bo Bennett damn near had a hat trick on his stick. As it looks like we are indeed headed to overtime. Here we go. We got overtime in Game 7. We still got one more Game 7 to look at between another team, or another 2 teams, honestly. But right now we are locked into the Rangers versus the Penguins. Marty, he's into the zone. Back to Dan Girardi, getting bodied right now by Gino. Down low to Rick Nash. Nash, he's getting board played. Pittsburgh's got to get it out of their own zone. They got all the momentum in this hockey game now. They were down by 2. Oh no. Sid, toe drag, over. Hornquist! Yes! Patrick Hornquist will bury it. His second of the series, and the Pittsburgh Penguins do the impossible. Down 3-1, late stages of the third. They walk him down. They knock him out. And they are moving on to round number 2. And now for the final game of round number 1, we got Colorado versus St. Louis. First period, the Blues, they go up by 2. Ian Cole and Justin Schwartz. Second period, it's a 3-1 lead. But we literally just saw a 3-1 lead get evaporated by Pittsburgh. But right now, the Avalanche, they don't have the talent that the Pens do. 4-1 lead, Justin Schwartz on the power play on Semyon Varlamov. Pretty much put this game out of reach. as the Blues are moving on, and Colorado is sent home in the very first round. We now move on to the second round. After having 3 Game 7s in round number 1, we're going to see if we're going to have any more, and we are going to see who will move on to the Western and Eastern Conference Finals of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The lone Game 7 of round number 2, the Sharks versus the Ducks. First period, we got ourselves a 1-1 tie. Irwin and Getzlaf. Second period, all knotted up at 2. Now, my memory, oh my God, Ryan Getzlaf giving Anaheim the lead. My memory's not really reminding me. Okay, I can't speak. Okay, I'm going to shut the hell up, and I'm going to watch these teams go back and forth. Joe Pavelski will give the Sharks the lead halfway through this third period. Shots are pretty much even. 5 minutes to go. A power play for San Jose. Can they hold on? Or, oh my God, Wingles will bury it. And the Sharks are headed to the Western Conference Finals. Now, what I was trying to say is I couldn't remember exactly if the Sharks and the Ducks played in the 2010s in a playoff series. I feel like they did, but I don't really remember it that well. They seem like rivals. They played in the division for a very long time, but I feel like they didn't play during the 2010s. The Final Four is set. The Blues somehow dethroned Chicago. They slayed their demons. We got them in San Jose, and then the Lightning versus Columbus. Are you serious? Can somebody explain to me with one good reason how the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2015 have made the conference finals up against the Tampa Bay Lightning? They literally beat Pittsburgh in round number 2. That's absurd. I don't know how they did it, but St. Louis swept the San Jose Sharks, and now the Lightning trying to gentlemen sweep the Columbus Blue Jackets up 3-1. Game 5 on home ice. First period, a 2-1 lead for the Blue Jackets. Atkinson and Johansson. Stamkos is going to score for the Lightning. Second period, we got a 3-2 lead. Cam Atkinson on the power play again. And Columbus, they are fighting for their season lives right now, as Connolly will tie the game up on Sergei Bobrovsky. Maybe Bob is just going off. Maybe that's the reason why Columbus has made it this far. I mean, he is like a 91 overall in this roster, so he is very good. 5 minutes to go here in the third. Still a 3-3 tie in game number 5 with Columbus's season on the line. Here we go. Overtime in game number 5. Only the Lightning can advance, and I did go ahead and throw on the retro jerseys for both of these squads. Coming in the zone. Who is that? Is that Foligno into the zone right now? Jonathan Drew. Oh my God. Drouin is still on the Lightning. This is taking me back. Werenski into the zone. Not Zach Werenski. Strawman. Anton Strawman moves over to Drouin. Jonathan Drouin back to Stammer. Stammer over to Jason Garrison, the GOAT. Garrison gets it on net on Bob. He's going to make the easy save, though. Over to Johnson. Turnover. Drouin. Oh, my Sergey. We got another big face-off. Tyler Johnson versus Ryan Johansson. Johnson trying to win that draw. I remember he banged somebody's wife. Back to Gudis. Oh, my God. Is that Ratko Gudis? Brendan Callahan. Callahan down low. Out in front. Another save again. Overtime between the Lightning and the Blue Jackets. The rosters are taking me back, man. Ryan Johansson the other way for Columbus. He's in the zone. Johansson takes a shot, but Ben Bishop's going to make the save. Look at Ben Bishop, man. He was Pekka Pasta pretty much before Pekka Pasta. The man's 6'7". Johansson walking down Main Street over Scotty Hartnell. Cannot bury it. Columbus going to win that draw. They got full pressure. Savard. Scotty Hartnell in the slot. Gets bodied by Gudis. And here come the Lightning the other way. Cross ice all the way over to Andre Palat. Palat takes a shot. Bob's going to easily save that one, but we got an offensive zone draw. 11:47 left to go. All knotted up here in overtime. One of these teams can move on, but obviously Columbus trying... Oh my, Anisimov, rebound! How? How did that puck stay out, dude? What a save by Ben Bishop with no stamina whatsoever. Anisimov comes in, somehow gets by his defender, takes a shot. It's blocked by the D-man. Ben Bishop is down and out. You literally have a wide open net to shoot on Anisimov. Oh my, Ben Bishop got the goddamn paddle over. That might be the greatest save in Stanley Cup playoff history. That is absurd. To send it to 6 games, Ben Bishop says no. Columbus wins the draw again. The puck is free. Stamkos picks it up. And here come the Lightning. Jonathan Drouin. Oh my, Drouin got sent back to juniors. God damn. That dude got absolutely evaporated. Scotty Hartnell for Columbus over to Anisimov. Anisimov rolling through the zone. He's coming in. He's waiting. He's getting bodied by 2 blue jerseys. We got 7:20 left to go here in overtime number 1. Stamkos leading that rush out for the Lightning. Stammer, he's into the zone. Stammer coming in. Stammer can't get a shot on net. He had no energy, but he's still... That's all heart, baby. Steven Stamkos, good old Canadian boy. And we got 5:45 left to go. Victor Hedman turns it over. Prout, shot, rebound. Oh my, that's got to be goaltender interference. No goalie interference on the play. All right. Kucherov plays over to Hedman. Over to Strawman. Strawman into the zone. He's losing it. Prout the other way. Gets bodied. Alex Killorn all alone. Robbed again. Sergei Bobrovsky. The netminders are putting on a display for NHL history right now. They do not want to be denied. They do not want to let in a goal. Calvert the other way. Was Calvert the guy that actually broke his stick over somebody on Pittsburgh that time? I'm pretty sure he was. Alex Killorn moves it on up to Connolly. Connolly through the zone. He's going to backhand it on net. Bob's going to play it to the corner. Tampa Bay getting in on the forecheck. They were Florida before Florida. Brendan Morrow! Oh my God. Morrow had the game on his stick, and he could not bury it. He still has it, though. Get in there, dude. Where's the full forecheck for the Tampa Bay Lightning? They got to go for it. Calvert again. He's into the zone. He's going to lose that puck to Carl. Moves on over to Morrow. Morrow skating it up the wing. Trying to get some offense for the Lightning in the middle. Suster over. Dan Boyle rebound. Juicy ass rebound. Boyle again on the backhand. Can't even get a shot on net. Somehow Columbus actually stayed alive there. Brian Boyle. Moves on over to Marchessault. Jonathan Marchessault. Yes, Tampa Bay legend. Jason Garrison. Garrison lines one up. Oh my God. Sergei Bobrovsky's the GOAT, man. I've seen it all. He just ripped a slap shot from the dead-ass slot, and he made the save with 15 seconds to go. Martin Letestu to the zone. Letestu. Columbus is out of gas, dude. They don't know what to do with the Lightning. Callahan the other way. He's into the zone, losing it, and it looks like we might be headed to double overtime. I am praying that we get a winner during this overtime frame, or I might actually be forced to hop out. Nonetheless, I'm going to manifest a computer AI sim goal right the hell now. We got Lightning, Blue Jackets, Tampa trying to go to the conference finals. No, they're trying to go to the Stanley Cup finals. My bad. We're already in the conference finals. Jonathan Drouin winning puck battles, but he's going to lose it. Eric Johnson's going to skate that puck out. He's into the zone. Johnson losing it to Strawman. Moves it on up to Jonathan Drouin. Jonathan Drouin, move your feet, kid. Trying to sauce it to Kucherov in the middle, but this is a 21-year-old Kuch. He is not in his prime yet. Cam Atkinson into the zone. Over to, oh my God, and there it is. The Columbus Blue Jackets will force a game number 6 after a double overtime goal. Game number 6, Lightning versus Blue Jackets. First period, Columbus holding on to a 2-1 lead. Second period, still a 2-1 lead. And we got ourselves overtime yet again. When is this going to end? Here we go. Game number 6, overtime period. Number 3 that we're in. I mean, we had 2 last game, and we got 1 this game. Hopefully, the Tampa Bay Lightning will finish off the Blue Jackets, and we are headed to the Stanley Cup Finals. Behind the net, Jonathan Drouin plays it back to Hedman. Hedman over to Strawman. Finding Kucherov. Doesn't take the shot. Rebound tip. Bob's going to glove it up and make that save. The Columbus Blue Jackets here in OT trying to force a Game 7 back in Tampa Bay. But the Lightning, they want to go to the Cup Finals just like they did. Stamkos cannot bury it. He will be denied by Sergei Bobrovsky. Nick Foligno skating out for the Columbus Blue Jackets, trying to get into the zone. A little bit of sloppy hockey right now by both teams. Tyler Johnson the other way. He's into the zone. Johnson waiting, saucing it down low. Doesn't get to his intended target. In the middle, Johnson over. Strawman. There it is. Anton Strawman will do it. He will send the Tampa Bay Lightning to the Stanley Cup Finals just like they did 2015 Stanley Cup postseason. If only the Blackhawks had to beat St. Louis, I firmly believe they would be here in the Cup Finals to have a rematch of 2015. We get the Lightning, the Blues, best of 7 for Lord Stanley. Does it get any better than this? I don't believe it. The St. Louis Blues have a 3-1 series lead over the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Cup Finals. 2-1 lead after 1. Second period, it is still a 2-1 hockey game. It was like 5 years earlier than when St. Louis actually went all the way and won the Cup in 19. Halfway through this period, Tampa Bay, they are down by 1 on the power play, and the captain will strike, tying the game up at 2. 5 minutes to go here in the third. I don't know if I'm going to hop into overtime. I got to be honest here. We've been having a lot of overtime hockey as of late. We got more to come. Here we go. Another round of overtime with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And this time, their season is on the line. And the Stanley Cup is in the building for the St. Louis Blues. Oh my God. Go. Go. You're all alone. Nikita Kucherov in on the breakaway. And he doesn't even get a shot. That's why Kucherov was a bum back in 2015. Vladimir Tarasenko the other way. Tarasenko saucing it in the middle. Stastny damn near buried it. The Lightning jitters got to be there. Tarasenko can't get a shot off. Victor Hedman gonna skate that puck out. We're going all out here, St. Louis. We're gonna try to win a Stanley Cup. for Gloria, baby. Stasny into the zone. There's a rebound. Tarasenko again. Vladimir Tarasenko trying to snipe it on Ben Bishop. I don't know if that's the best option there, Vladdy. Oh, my. Berglund walking in. Full pressure by the Blues. This could be it, but the Lightning somehow get out of the zone. Jonathan Drouin the other way. Drouin waiting, firing, save there. Who was their netminder? Was it Brian Elliott, I believe? It was so long ago. It definitely was not Jordan Binnington. Way too early to be him. Gudas, stretch pass all the way to Callahan. Here we go. Ryan Callahan. He's into the zone. Callahan takes a shot, and Brian Elliott will glove that puck down. 12:47 left to go. Back to Gudas. Gudas takes a shot. Rebound. Johnson and Brian Elliott again flashing the leather. 12:17 left to go here in overtime. The Blues, a defensive zone draw. Tyler Johnson's going to win it back. Gudas, walking line. Jason Garrison unloads one, but it was not Cole Bennett in his prime. Jackman, where are you going? Hugh Jackman, where are you going, buddy? Moves up to Berglund. Berglund's into the zone. He takes a shot. Bishop's going to glove it down. Easy save by Ben. Shots in the game are 47-36, so a lot of shots faced by both of these netminders as the St. Louis Blues trying to win the Stanley Cup. All they need is one shot. One shot may do it. Callahan, he's into the zone. Over. Andre Palat. Rebound. What a save by Brian Elliott. Unbelievable. Saving this game for the St. Louis Blues. The absolute GOAT. Tampa Bay literally had a wide open net to shoot at. Gudas to Callahan, takes a shot, and again, Elliott will glove it down. Nikita Kucherov, watch that stick. Kuch, oh my God! He will do it. Second of the night. Nikita Kucherov will send this series to game number 6. Game 6 in Tampa Bay. The Lightning trying to force 7 after being down 3-1 in the series, and entering the third, they got a 1-goal lead. A 2-1 hockey game, just like it was last game. We're literally in Uno reverse, though, as the Lightning hold the lead, and they're trying to hold on right now. But the St. Louis Blues will tie the game up. Pajärvi himself all knotted up at 2. Not again. Not another overtime. Are we serious here, EA? Is this what, the 2025 Stanley Cup Finals? Here we go. Yet again, another round of overtime. I'm honestly low-key. Actually, I'm not getting sick of it. We've had some cool winners. I wish they'd win a little sooner, though, so we don't have to sit here and watch the computer AI go back and forth constantly. But the Lightning trying to force a game 7. St. Louis again trying to win the Stanley Cup. Kucherov's into the zone. Nikita Kucherov. I don't know what that was, buddy. You won the game in game 5. Can you do it again? Jonathan Drouin. Back to the line. Hedman. Over. Strawman. Kuch. Whoa, oh my God. Did that miss the net? I was going to say, what a save. Stammer down low. He's going to get board played. Help him out there, Strawman. What are you doing? You literally caused an odd man rush the other way. Schwartz into the zone. Takes a shot. There's a fluky-ass rebound. Tarasenko. Oh, he's trying to move it over. Shattenkirk. What a save by Ben Bishop to keep his team season alive. 14:33 remaining here in overtime number 1. Shots are even at 35. Score is even at 2. And the cup again, being in the building. Maybe the lights are a little bit too bright for the St. Louis Blues. They can't get it done. Andre Palat, shot from the outside. Easy save by Brian Elliott. Offensive zone draw for the Lightning. They're going to lose it, though. Jackman skating out of his own zone. Moves on up to Berglund. Berglund. Over to Steen. Steen finding the go. TJ Oshie. TJ Shoshi, I should say. 11:15 left to go. Ryan Reeves is out there in overtime in 2014, 2015. That's absurd. I don't believe it. St. Louis, Jackman entering the zone out in front. What a save by Ben Bishop. Jason Garrison the other way. He's going to stretch pass it up to Connolly. Connolly waiting. Back to Garrison. Over. Killorn. What a save by Brian Elliott. These goaltenders are on PEDs. I'm calling it right now. How do they keep repeatedly making the same electric save over and over? Backus trying to headman that puck. David Backus and Ben Bishop going to glove that one down yet again. 7 minutes to go here in overtime. Tampa Bay trying to put on the pressure, but man, this overtime's been pretty ass, I'm not going to lie. I mean, we've had some good saves. Oh my God, walking. Laterra over to Lapierre. Back to the point. Cole blasting one right off the shin pads like he's Rick. Gunnarsson, he's going to get board played. Uh-oh. St. Louis is back, though. Pajärvi is back. He actually tied this game up at 2. The computer AI need to wake the hell up, man. I need an overtime winner. Here we go. Morrow the other way. He's entering the zone. Morrow takes a shot. Ben Bishop or Brian Elliott, whoever the hell that was, made the easy save. Laterra the other way. Getting bodied by Suster. Suster. Cross ice to Stammer. In the middle of Jonathan Drouin. Over. Stamkos. Oh my God, Steven Stamkos. You can't even get a goddamn shot on net, brother. 1 minute to go here in overtime number 1. Nikita Kucherov trying to center that puck. What is Kuch thinking, man? Too many nose beers. Over to Tarasenko. Vladimir Tarasenko takes a shot. Easy save by Bishop. We got 45 seconds to go here in OT. Strawman. He's turning it over. Victor Hedman, though. He's going to turn it over. No, he's not. D to Strawman. All the way up to Kuch. Over to Stammer. Stammer finding Druin. Jonathan Druin unloads one. Jonathan Druin will send this series to a Game 7 where most likely we are probably going to have overtime yet again. At least we know we are guaranteed to get a winner here in Game 7. First period, 2-0 lead for the Blues. Steen and Tarasenko. Second period, 4-0 lead. The Tampa Bay Lightning clawed all the way back from a 3-1 series deficit just to lay the biggest egg in Game 7. Probably in Game 7 finals history, to be honest. The St. Louis Blues will do it. They choked away a 3-1 series advantage, but in Game 7 will shut out the Tampa Bay Lightning. And in the re-sim of the 14-15 NHL season, it will be St. Louis who slayed their demons in Chicago in the second round. They swept San Jose in the conference finals, and then they matched up against a very young Tampa Bay Lightning squad. We're still developing. I mean, Nikita Kucherov is only 21 years of age. Vladimir Tarasenko is literally the Conn Smythe winner with 11 goals and 28 points during the postseason run. Very, very deserving. And there it is, Lord Stanley being presented 5 years earlier. It was 2019 when they got it done with Gloria. But in the 2015, no, that would be four years earlier. What am I saying? My math is not mathing. Nonetheless, David Backes. No, Kevin Shattenkirk is the captain. I thought it was David Backes. Regardless, the St. Louis Blues get it done. They beat the Lightning in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, Tarasenko was the best player in the postseason. 11 goals, 28 points. Paul Stastny also at 28. Stammer with 15 goals and 27 points. How was the guy at -1, though? Kevin Shattenkirk had a good postseason run. Justin Schwartz, Nikita Kucherov. He's only 21 years old. He's going to get a whole lot better. For Brian Elliott, 16-3-5. 5 overtime losses is insane. He also had 2 shutouts and a .925 save percentage. Not that shocking to see the Pittsburgh Penguins finish at the top of the NHL. 58-19-5 was the record. We got Tampa Bay finishing second. Minnesota's a sneaky good pick. Chicago in the top 4, and the Bruins will round out the top 5. At the bottom, we do have the Edmonton Oilers and the Winnipeg Jets. Actually left in Vegas and Seattle into the sim here, because I don't think they're really going to do much. They could end up getting Connor McDavid and or Jack Eichel, one of those superstars, or potentially others from different draft classes upcoming. But at the end of the day, they're eventually going to make their way to the NHL, and like Vegas came in 2017, so you were not seeing these totals back in 2015. Patty Kane having 55 goals and 121 points. He led the league in scoring. We got Stammer up there with 117. Sid had 114. Jonathan Toews. That is how long it's been since I've literally had to say the name Jonathan Toews. He had a career high 113 points. Ovi with 111. Marian Hossa was very good. Tyler Johnson absolutely lit the lamp. On the goal side, we got Ovi, goal per game, 84 and 82. Stammer had 74. Patty Kane with 55. Corey Perry had another 50-goal season. Jamie Benn with a career high himself. I might have to go ahead and lower the sim engine scoring for this video. It's just way too high at the moment. Ben Bishop's going to lead the league in wins with 47. Fleury had 45. Corey Crawford, 44. Carey Price only had 34 and only a .910 save percentage. On the shutout side, Brian Elliott is going to lead the way with 6 on the season. So even having some goalies being pretty high, like Price is a 98, they didn't really dominate like they did back in NHL 15 and 16. They really did dominate. For save percentage, Ben Bishop had the best in 64 starts. He had a .922. And here is the 2015 Stanley Cup playoff bracket. It was the Chicago Blackhawks that went on and won it in real life. Who will it be in NHL 25? Ain't no way that Le Montreal will pull off the upset. In 2015, where Carey Price was in absolute god mode, they make it to the Cup Finals, beat the dynastic Chicago Blackhawks in 6 games, and win a Stanley Cup for Sir Carey Price. They actually also went through Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, and also the Boston Bruins en route to the Stanley Cup. That would be one of the most impressive things ever if that actually happened in real life. Max Pacioretty led the way, setting a new NHL record for goals in the postseason with 22 in 25 games, also had 34 points. Marian Hossa was very good himself. Patty Kane showed up for the Blackhawks, but it was just not good enough. Galchenyuk at 27. Look at the goal scoring of the Montreal Canadiens. They literally never had that. Carey Price had one 80-point scorer in his entire career, and that was in his rookie season. Patrick Kane is going to take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Ovi's going to win the Maurice Richard, Letang, the Norris. We got the Conn Smythe going to Patches. Ben Bishop will win the Vezina. And for the Selke, a young Sasha Barkov already dominating the award. Not Bergeron, not Kopitar. Oh no, the Philadelphia Flyers via the Edmonton Oilers won the draft lottery, which ultimately will mean that Connor McDavid is not going to the Oilers, instead to the Flyers, and then goes Carolina, Winnipeg, and Philly again. They have 2 out of the top 4 picks in an absolutely loaded draft class. And of course, there it is, McDavid going to the Flyers. He's only an 88 overall, but a franchise high potential. Jack Eichel will go to Carolina. We got Kirill Kaprizov going 3rd to Winnipeg. Rantanen also to Philly. Mitch Marner is going to be a Winnipeg Jet. Zach Werenski to LA. Barzell will go to the Sabres. Noah Hanifin to the Ducks. Kyle Connor to Detroit. Your mom's a hoe to Columbus. Konechny to the Sens. Thomas Chabot is a Maple Leaf. Dylan Strome will go to the New York Islanders. Brendan Carlo to the Nashville Predators. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make a pick for the Chicago Blackhawks here. Who is on the board? Anthony Cirelli, Provorov, Rasmus Anderson, Vince Dunn, Troy Terry. I mean, goddamn, this draft class was stacked upon stacked. They also have Aiden Hill, Mackenzie Blackwood, Samsonov, Montembeault is there, Joey Decord. I think I got to go with Anthony Cirelli, a great penalty killer. He made Team Canada at 4 Nations. He is now a member of the Chicago Blackhawks. Only a 74 overall. Here is some of the top free agents that are available in 2015. We got Chris Tanev, who's only 25 years old. We got a 43 Jaromir Jagr. Here are some of the top free agents, UFAs, that are available in free agency in 2015. A young Chris Tanev at 25, a older Jaromir Jagr at 43 years of age, asking for 11 mil. Kovalchuk's a free agent. Radulov, Foligno, Jeff Petrie for the goaltenders. We got Devin Dubnyk, who's available, as well as Braden Holtby, who is a 90 overall. This next upcoming draft class is going to be a good one, too. We got Matthews, Adam Fox, Patty Laine, Kachuk, McAvoy, and Chikrin. A big draft class, honestly, for the Americans. Pulya Harvey is there. Jordan Kyrou, Tage Thompson, Keller, Sergachev. What about the goaltenders that are available? Carter Hart. Oh, no. Probably not the best time to refer to that man, to be honest. The Chicago Blackhawks are still going to be a dynasty. They had an even better regular season. 60 wins, only 14 losses, 8 in overtime. They won the President's Trophy for back-to-back years. Montreal, who did defeat them in the Cup Finals, had a good regular season also, 54 wins. Boston was up there, New York, and Anaheim to round out the top 5 at the bottom. The sad and lonely Buffalo Sabres. They didn't get Jack Eichel. They have no hope, no future for that franchise. Columbus was bad, as well as Calgary and Winnipeg. Typical me forgetting to lower the scoring yet again. 129 points for Sid, as he's going to lead the league in scoring. Corey Perry had 119. Patty Kane was up there. We got Geno Malkin doing well. Ryan Getzlav had 110 points. Ryan Kessler, 47 goals, 105 points. What on earth are we doing? On the goal side, Perry's going to lead the way with 68 tucks on the year. Ovi at 66. Sid had 56. Geno was great with 55, and Steven Stamkos had 53. Corey Crawford is going to break the all-time win record for a season. He had 50 on the year. Also 8 shutouts that led in that department, tied alongside Jonathan Quick. The 2016 playoffs are upon us, and here we go. It was the Pittsburgh Penguins in real life. Who is it going to be in NHL 25? It will be a rematch of 2013, and just like in 13, the Chicago Blackhawks will win the Stanley Cup, this time in Game 7 over the Boston Bruins. The dynasty of Chicago will continue. That is their 4th cup now in the 2010s. What a damn juggernaut of a squad, man. Louis Eriksson, though, 24 goals, 39 points in the postseason. Patty Kane, Marian Hossa, Jonathan Toews all had over 33 points in the playoffs. All of them also were double digits when it comes to goal scoring, 14, 13, and 12. Brad Marchand was good. Patrice Bergeron had 30. Kovalchuk had 27 as he joined the Boston Bruins. Crosby's going to win the Lindsay, the Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Maurice Richard will go to Corey Perry. Norris will go to Doughty. The Calder to nail Yakupov over Connor McDavid. Conn Smythe will go to Patrick Kane, just like in 2013. And for the Selke Trophy, Anze Kopitar will end up winning it. The Columbus Blue Jackets might be the lucky team to land Austin Tommy Matthews. Buffalo came second, and the Flames ended up being third. Matthews would end up going first overall at an 85. He's franchise meeting potential. Adam Fox will go second. Patrick Laine will go to the Flames third. McAvoy to the Islanders. Kachuk is going to Winnipeg. Jacob Chikrin will go to Philly. Pulya Harvey, whatever the hell you call this guy. He was a bust of a thing. We got Clayton Keller going to Florida. Tage Thompson to the Dallas Stars. DeBrincat to Seattle. Pierre-Luc Dubois will be an Edmonton Oiler. Mikhail Sergachev is a Calgary Flame. The summer of 2016, Steven Stamkos is a UFA at a 96 overall and has a massive decision to make. We also got guys like Bufflin, Gio, Nelson is there, Yari Hoodler is on the market, Andrew Ladd, Marty St. Louis for the goaltenders. Frederick Anderson is a free agent. The Chicago Blackhawks might honestly just run this entire simulation. Another 60-win season, winning the Presidents. They are now the defending champs after making... The Chicago Blackhawks might end up dominating this simulation. Another 60-win year where they win the Presidents, fresh off of their first cup in the video after making back-to-back finals. The Boston Bruins end up finishing second with 59. Pittsburgh was up there. Ottawa is now up with Erik Karlsson with 51 wins, and the New Jersey Devils will round out the top 5. Buffalo, I don't know what y'all got to do to get good, man, but holy hell, 14 wins and 61 regulation losses is absolutely atrocious. Seattle was down bad too, but not for Brecky Hill. Winnipeg was down there. Vegas was a shit franchise. I mean, they are in real life too, but we're not going to talk about that. Patrick Kane doing Patrick Kane things, 132 points, going to win the Art Ross. We got Jonathan Taves up there with 122, Marian Hossa. So the Blackhawks had the top 3 scorers in the National Hockey League. Definitely not overpowered. JT Miller was very good. Backstrom had 109. Sid the Kid Crosby with 106 on the goal side. What can you say? The greatest goal scorer of all time, Ovi, 73 tucks in the season. Mark Stone had 63. Patrick Kane, 59. Taves had 57, as well as Steven Stamkos. Tuukka Rask led the goaltenders in wins with 46. And on the shutout side, it would be John Gibson and Anton Khudobin, as well as Carey Price. All 3 of them had 6 shutouts apiece on the year. This was supposed to be the back-to-back years for the Pittsburgh Penguins, winning multiple Stanley Cups in 2017. Instead, the Blackhawks will try to do so. This is now Chicago's 4th Stanley Cup of the 2010s. 2010, 2013, 2016, and now 2017 as they go back-to-back, dethroning Montreal in the Cup Finals as the Habs, low-key with Carey Price between the pipes, are a very, very good hockey team. I don't know why I said low-key like he was not the best goalie in the league at the time. Regardless, Jonathan Taves, 18 goals, 36 points, led the way in the postseason. Patty Kane had 29, Hossa with 26. They're just too hard to stop until they start to age out and lose some of their core players. Evgeny Malkin was good. Duncan Keith was okay. Sid the Kid Crosby had 9 goals and 21 points in 20 playoff games. And Carey Price, man, what can you say about this man? 14-7-0 record, had 2 shutouts, but most importantly, a .945 save percentage in the playoffs. Kane again is going to win the Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Ovi the Maurice Richard. Letang will win another Norris. Jonathan Taves is the Conn Smythe winner. Corey Crawford will win the Vezina for the Selke. Back-to-back seasons of it being Anze Kopitar. The Florida Panthers would end up winning the NHL draft lottery. Vegas will be second, and the Buffalo Sabres move down from first place all the way to third. In a redraft of 2017, no surprise that Cale Makar is going first overall. He's 85 overall already, franchise high potential. Elias Pettersson will go to Vegas second. We got Jason Robertson end up going third. Nick Suzuki will go to Seattle. Nolan Patrick to Winnipeg. Hischier will go to the Utah Hockey Club. Miro Heiskanen to Columbus. Robert Thomas. How did Heiskanen fall down to the 7th overall pick? Marty Necas to Vancouver. Some notable UFAs that are available right now is Brad Marchand at 29 years old. He's a 92 overall. Vladimir Tarasenko is there. Artemi Panarin's available. Nick Bonino, Vince Dunn. For the netminders, it's not too hot. The best available one is Andre Pavlik at an 85 overall. I'm finally going to get around to lowering the scoring of the National Hockey League, so Sim Engine scoring will be on low, and for shot frequency, I will still leave it at high. I don't know who is going to end up knocking off the Blackhawks, to be honest. They finish at the top of the league yet again, 57 wins. Montreal is second. They've been a juggernaut themselves, but have only managed to win 1 cup. Anaheim is in the top 3. Washington, Nashville, New Jersey was good. At the bottom, if we take a look, it is the St. Louis Blues. As Buffalo, that's a good season. That is literally an improvement. They only won 14 games last year. They damn near doubled it this season. Well, I guess it's not hard to tell that math was definitely not my strong suit, as 14 plus 14 is quite literally 28. Alexander Ovechkin said, F the Sim Engine scoring. I'm going to lead the league in goals with 78 and have the most points at 108. Like, what are we doing here? Our prime Ovi's not even prime anymore. He's 32 years old. Still absolutely dominating. Patty Kane's the only guy to hit triple digits alongside of him. Nicholas Backstrom had 92, Jonathan Taves 87, as well as Alex Galchenyuk, Max Pacioretty. A lot of these guys on Montreal simulating very, very well. On the goal side, outside of Ovi, I mean, it was like a 40-goal gap. Austin Matthews had 48 as a 20. On the goal side, besides Ovi, it was not even close. Matthews came in second with 48. Patrick Laine had 45. Patches 44. Kane 41. Zucker had 41 also. 2018 was the playoff run where Alexander Ovechkin won his first and probably going to be only Stanley Cup of his career. Let's see if he can repeat that. Or are the Chicago Blackhawks going to have a three-peat in the 2010s after winning 2 Stanley Cups even before that? Essentially the decade of Chicago. Definitely a surprising pick as the Anaheim Ducks go all the way and win the Stanley Cup. They beat the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Cup Finals. Crosby tried to get his second Cup of his career, failed to do so. And the duo of Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf, they get it done yet again. Corey Perry is going to lead the NHL in scoring for the playoffs. He had 17 goals, 28 points. This now kind of more looks like the 2010s hockey with lower scoring than what we have now. A lot of guys in the 20s, not a single guy in the 30s though. It was almost the season of Alexander Ovechkin. He's going to win all the individual awards besides the Hart Trophy. Duncan Keith is going to win the Norris. We got Corey Perry winning the Conn Smythe, Corey Crawford the Vezina, and for the Selke, Sasha Barkov yet again. Not like the Tampa Bay Lightning needed a first overall pick, but they're going to get it as they went all the way from 6th to 1st place. Seattle is 2nd, and the St. Louis Blues will end up being 3rd. Well, shit. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to pick up Quinn Hughes 1st overall. Brady Tkachuk will go to Seattle. Dahlin to St. Louis. Noah Dobson is going to head to Winnipeg, who really have not improved. Andrei Svechnikov will go to the San Jose Sharks. Philip Zadina to Dallas. Joe Veleno will go to the LA Kings. Gotta be honest, not a lot of great UFAs available. Evander Kane being one of them at an 87 overall. Cogliano is there. Ilya Kovalchuk is back on the market. John Klingberg is available. Alexei Emelin is there. Tyler Bozak for the goaltenders. Anybody good here? Chris Dreiger, I mean, 84 overall. Just doesn't get it done. Doesn't move the needle. Let alone moves my needle. Pause. All right, we got one more season to go. The 2018-2019 year in NHL 25. We're going to find out who takes home the awards and, of course, who wins the Stanley Cup. Will Chicago get one more? Will Pittsburgh get one in the video? Will Alexander Ovechkin get the job done? The Los Angeles Kings are going to surprise me and pretty much everybody else winning the President's Trophy. 55, 21, and 6 was their record. Nashville ended up finishing 2nd. Pittsburgh, Chicago, and Toronto all in the top 5. Crosby's going to lead the league in scoring with only 96 points, as I did go ahead a few years ago, toned down the scoring a little bit, and we have massively different results because of it now. Stamkos had 93. Mark Stone had 93. Patty Kane still doing Patty Kane things. Erik Karlsson having an insane season as a defenseman. 10 goals, 81 apples for 91 points. And Austin Tommy Egg Matthews at the age of 21 is going to lead the league in scoring. 48 goals on the year. We got Stammer with 46. Carter Verhaeghe had 46. Stone was up there. And Alexander Ovechkin, -8, only 71 points and 43 goals. I mean, it looks like he's kind of getting washed right now. I'm not going to lie. He was a 100-point scorer, had over like 60 goals every single season besides this one. But of course, that is due to the fact that I lowered the NHL goal scoring overall. And the netminders now are going to do better. Jonathan Quick had 48 wins, led the NHL in that category. And Carey Price, 10 shutouts on the year with a 922. 2019 was, of course, St. Louis' infamous Cinderella run. They ended up winning the Stanley Cup. Who is going to be in NHL 25? A very happy ending for me as the Edmonton Oilers go on and win the Stanley Cup in 2019. Despite not having Connor McDavid on their squad, they still get it done. They beat Montreal, who lost yet again another Cup final matchup. That has to be like 3 or 4 throughout the entirety of this video so far. Leon Draisaitl carried the way for Edmonton, 9 goals and 24 points. Nail Yakupov in this universe is definitely not a bust. Brendan Gallagher was good. Nuge was very good. Dylan Strome was lethal as well. Well, that is going to do it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.